gonna turn down $50 million. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Hey, salute to everyone watching. If you tuned in on YouTube, I appreciate you. I haven't made a video in a little while because there wasn't really nothing to talk about, and some of these topics are super boring to me. Like, it's just starting to get super boring. But I watched Dave Chappelle's stand-up special. I forget what it was called. It just came out, but it was hilarious, man. Dave Chappelle does the one thing a lot of newer, or not newer, but a lot of comedians nowadays forget: to actually be funny, to make people laugh. And a lot of people think comedy is subjective, but I don't know, dude. I think it's somewhat objective. A lot of things are funny universally that almost anyone will laugh at. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because Katt Williams, one of the GOATs, one of the legends of stand-up comedy, recently had an interview with Shannon Sharpe, the former Denver Broncos football player. Now has a podcast on YouTube. Katt Williams and him did a 2.5-something hour long interview. If you haven't heard about it by now, you're insane. Because this thing's at like damn near 50 million views in a little over a week, which is insane. He broke the internet, Katt Williams. A lot of the stuff he said was true and hilarious, but a lot of the claims that he made were a bit absurd, bro. Now, let's be honest. Some of the shit he said was funny and made a lot of sense. Some of the shit he said sounded really self-aggrandizing, and like he was sucking his own dick a little too much. But I got a couple examples, because this is funny, dude. Katt Williams can do an interview on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, which sounds gay as fuck, by the way, Club Shay Shay, and put the internet in a fucking uproar. This is all anyone has been talking about for the last 10 days. Katt Williams interview on Shannon Sharpe's podcast. That is all people have been talking about. So many different comedians and entertainers that if you haven't seen it, I can't explain the whole shit to you, man. But I can pick out some of the things that I thought were funny and some of the things that I thought were outrageous that he was claiming. He said some outrageous shit in that interview. The one thing I probably got the most press is how he called out Joe Rogan, right? He called out Joe Rogan and said, I wouldn't go on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan wouldn't have me on there.
That would be like me being on Joe Rogan. Joe don't want me on there. I need to be on Shannon. Joe got 6 comedians that never been funny. He want to push out. But that's really how it is. I'm so sorry I'm competitive. You and I.
He'd rather push 6 unfunny comedians, 6 comedians who've never been funny. And since that's come out, Joe Rogan did respond. He said, I love Katt Williams. I'm a big fan. We always talk about him. I would love to have him on the podcast if he's down. Which is all he could have said. He couldn't make an argument, oh, no, you're wrong. These dudes are... Who's funny? Brendan Schaub? Who's funny? Bert Kreischer? We all know who he's talking about. Bert Kreischer, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen, Andrew Schultz, probably. Andrew Schultz looks like one of those fucking glasses with the nose on them. The glasses comes with the nose and a mustache on it. He looks like one of those fucking things in a person. So it's Andrew Schultz, Bert Kreischer, Brendan Schaub, probably Brian Callen, Tom Segura. Tom Segura is pretty funny to me, and Ari Shaffir is actually pretty funny. His Jew special was actually really funny to me. I thought that was funny. But there are a few people that Rogan pushes that are not fucking funny, dude. They don't make anyone laugh. They're cringe as fuck. They're old and embarrassing. And it's cool to be old, but this narcissist piece of shit, it doesn't look good when you're old. He also made some outrageous claims, Katt Williams did, in this interview that I thought were very funny. He said, I'm almost 100 years old. We can go outside right now, and I could run a 4.640.
I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I'm
Oh, there's Jimmy
short.
John's across the street. We can order a sub.
Are you out of your fucking mind, bro? Are you out of your fucking mind? Some of the fastest athletes in the world can't do that. And you're saying you, Katt Williams, probably 50, 60 years old, can do that right now. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Shut up. There's no fucking way you can run a 4.640. He's also talking about he can get par or under in every course in golf. He was making some outrageous claims. He said when he was a child, about 5 years old, he performed for 5,000 to 10,000 people. I don't know where you would do that as a child, but...
At 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So it came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause.
Later in the interview, he contradicted himself and goes, well, I was never in ultracurricular activities or band or any... How did you get in front of that many people then? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I never did a talent show. I was never in any extracurricular activities. I was never in drama. I was never in band camp. I was never a Boy Scout.
Also, him talking about the amount of books that he read when he was a child. He said he read 3,000 books a year from the time he was 8 to the time he was 12. That means he read, what was that, 3,000 times 4 years? 12,000 books in 4 years? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, Katt Williams.
Well, I'm saying when we go to Haiti to do missionary work, understand that my mother and my father, nobody that's there with us speaks French. And, it speaks Creole and reads French. So I'm in charge of everything, from the housing to the cars to the gardener. Like I'm saying, so I'm not just reading. I'm reading in multiple languages. Like I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12.
Now, Katt Williams is actually one of my favorite comedians. I've seen him live. It was so funny, man. Mike Epps and Katt Williams are the funniest two dudes I've ever seen live. I saw both of their tours. It was a while ago, but they were both so fucking funny, man. I was crying in the Mike Epps show. I was crying. Tears were coming down my cheeks. I was laughing so hard. I also saw a lot of other people live. Dave Chappelle, he was good. A lot, man. Just a lot of people, but Mike Epps was the funniest. Katt Williams takes second place in all the shows that I've been to and seen. But I just thought it was hilarious how Katt Williams does one interview on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp's podcast. It's a gay-ass name, by the way. He goes at so many people on there. Cedric, Kevin Hart, P. Diddy. He goes at so many people in that interview, and it's fucking hilarious. It's a classic interview. That interview will be broken down by so many people that's going to hit billions of views just based on that interview. Based on that Katt Williams interview, billions of views are going to be generated. He just fed the whole internet for 2024. In January of 2024, Katt Williams just fed the whole internet, gave everyone something to talk about. So salute that man, and salute how fucking crazy he is. Even though I don't think he's crazy. I just think he's a really interesting dude that stands on his principles and his morals, and when he sees shit going down that he doesn't agree with or he thinks is immoral, he's going to speak out on it. He's going to speak out on all the Hollywood shit and the gay shit. And
my goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin asshole. and never had sucked a penis. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. See, come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women.
But go watch the interview. It's a fucking classic. It's 2.5 hours long, so you might have to break it up. But salute everyone listening or watching. I just thought I had to talk about this. Katt Williams is a fucking G.